Hey, federal employees, I've reviewed thousands of federal retirement cases over the last 15 years, and I commonly see the same 7 mistakes over and over again. The worst part is many of these mistakes are permanent. So once you make them, you cannot go back and fix them. And they're costing federal employees tens of thousands of dollars in retirement. The federal employee retirement system, of course, is an incredibly generous one, but it is also complex. One wrong checkbox, one missed deadline, one misunderstood rule, and you could be stuck with that decision for the rest of your life. So let me show you these common 7 mistakes and, more importantly, how to avoid them. The first mistake is getting your survivor benefit election wrong. When you retire, you do have to decide whether to provide survivor benefits for your spouse. Here's what some federal employees tend to misunderstand. If you don't elect a survivor benefit, your spouse loses federal employee health benefit eligibility, so that coverage, if you predecease them. I've seen cases where retirees shopped around. They thought it was a smart move to go ahead and take the full pension, not select a survivor benefit, get life insurance instead. There are some benefits there, but the life insurance doesn't keep your spouse's health insurance. That's important. So you do have 2 options if you're going to select a survivor benefit: the partial 25%, which costs you 5% of your pension, and the maximum 50% survivor benefit, which will cost you 10% of your survivor benefit. Once you make that election, you generally cannot change it. Mistake number 2 is rolling over your TSP to an IRA without fully understanding what you're giving up. Yes, rolling your TSP to an IRA gives you more investment options, a more robust income and withdrawal strategy platform, and now IRAs do offer index funds with lower fees than TSP funds. But you're giving up a few unique advantages. One, the TSP allows you to take money out of your TSP if you retire in the year you're turning 55 with no penalties, whereas IRAs, that age is 59 and a half. So if you're retiring before 59 and a half, you might want to think about the TSP. The TSP has low fees, but it also has the G fund, which is unique to the TSP. So before you roll over, make sure you fully understand exactly what you're gaining and what you potentially are giving up. This decision affects how you'll access your money for the rest of your retirement. So that's a really important one. Mistake number 3. Sounds simple, but it can be devastating, which is messing up your retirement application. I've seen retirees go 6 months or longer without any pension payments because of typos, wrong dates, unchecked boxes. So this is a very common error, getting your service computation dates wrong, or maybe forgetting to include military service, making mistakes on survivor benefit elections. Some people have had to go back to work because the pension was delayed so long. So start your application at least 6 months prior to your target retirement date. Have someone in HR or your benefits department review it before you submit it. Small errors create huge delays. So mistake number 4 is Medicare Part B, the timing trap there. When you turn 65 and you're retired, you're supposed to enroll in Medicare Part B. Many federal employees think they can skip it because they have FEHB. Here's the problem. If you don't enroll in Part B within that window of time you have when you're first eligible, you'll pay a penalty for the rest of your life. We're talking about an extra 10% every year for that delay, forever. For most federal employees, the smart strategy tends to be enrolling in Part B and keeping FEHB. Medicare becomes primary, FEHB becomes your secondary, and you'll have almost no out-of-pocket medical costs. So everyone's different, so keep that in mind. However, if you have coverages like TRICARE, VA benefits, or something else, that calculation or the recommendation may be a little bit different for your situation. Mistake number 5, misunderstanding your high 3 calculation. I constantly hear people say they're going to work 1 more month or work to the end of the year to get a pay raise, a cost of living adjustment, a step increase to increase their high 3. But what they don't understand is the high 3 really is the average of your highest consecutive 36 months. So working 1 extra month or 2 extra months at a higher pay rate really will have a very minimal impact on your high 3. So keep that in mind. Run the actual numbers before you make the decision to work a few extra months to retire. Don't assume those pay raises are worth that retirement or worth the delaying of your retirement. Mistake number 6 is knowing what we call your retirement income ratio. Most federal employees have no idea what percentage of their current net pay they're actually going to receive in retirement. They look only at their gross pension estimate, and they think that's what they'll get, or they just kind of stop there. But your pension gets reduced by taxes, health insurance, potentially life insurance, survivor benefits. Then you need to factor in withdrawal rates you're taking potentially from your TSP or IRAs. And then if you're taking Social Security, special retirement supplement, all these things need to be factored in so you can get an apples to apples comparison. If you're currently netting $5,000 per month and your retirement income ratio is 60%, you're looking at $3,000 per month, which is really, really important. So this mistake forces people back to work in some terrible cases or into just financial stress. Mistake number 7, and this one catches everyone off guard. It's underestimating your retirement budget for the first few years. Most people think their expenses will drop immediately when they retire. That's rarely true, right? The first 2-3 years of retirement are most often the most expensive, the go-go years, right? You're traveling more, you're checking off that bucket list you've put together, maybe a new car, healthcare costs changing. Perhaps many retirees spend 90 to 100% of their pre-retirement income in those first few years. So plan for higher expenses, not lower ones. Those first few years will be generally higher spending, then you can settle in to more of a routine after that in most cases. Retirement can be expensive rather. The average FERS retirement lasts about 20 years. A 10% reduction in benefits for the survivor benefit could cost you $120,000 over 20 years if you have a $60,000 a year annual pension. Medicare penalties, those compound every year. Delayed pension payments can force you back to work. These aren't small mistakes. They have consequences. They're really retirement-defining decisions. So the good news is every one of these mistakes is clearly preventable. But you need to know what you're doing before you make these irreversible choices, right? That's why we offer comprehensive retirement planning for federal employees. We've got a very experienced team. We'll review your entire situation, run the numbers, make sure you avoid these costly mistakes. So schedule your consultation in the link below. If you found this helpful, please like, subscribe, and share the video with any federal employees you know who are thinking about retirement. Nobody should have to learn about these mistakes the hard way. Till next time, I'm Neil Thompson with Federal Retirement Services.